you go there. And it's more, I think it doesn't matter where you've worked or how good your CV is before. When you start at French Laundry, you start at zero, right? And then you have to work up again. You have to prove yourself. But yeah, just the pure like professionalism,
Right.
the cleanliness, the detail of every single thing. That's what I learned, is like the detail and the care, from the tiny things to like how you cut a label.
Cut a label.
Impacts the final dish to goes to that guest, because it's all starts somewhere, right? Your standards start from cutting a label to how clean the floor is, impacts your whole kind of standards that relates to the food. It's hard to connect it to food, but when you understand it, and I think that's what French Laundry showed me at first. Like, oh God, this is a bit much. And you think that in your brain, like, no, you can't put that there. It has to go there. And then when you understand why that has to stay there and that has to go there, and everything has its place, then you really understand that that's creating a whole standard within the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
So then they do everything in that certain way and that certain standard. Then how you cut that piece of fish, or how you cut that pepper, how you put it on the tray, relates back to how neat you cut that tape. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I can.
Standards. It always starts at everyone says everything starts at the top. It does, but it starts with the smallest moves at the bottom also.
Did you find that adjustment to that level of standard quite exhausting? Like,
it was mentally, like, I think, like, we'll talk about this, we'll talk about my health later on, but like, I know myself pretty well, and like mentally I'm strong, like I can take a lot, which has actually been sometimes detrimental in my life, because I'm like, yeah, okay, keep pushing me and I'm not going anywhere. I'm very stubborn. But this was different. It was just like constant of like, okay, redo it. What's that there? Your knife's not straight. You have to move your knife straight.
What do you mean? What, while you're cooking?
No, like when you're prepping at the French Laundry, like they're looking at everything about you. Like if you don't put your knife straight, they can see it. They see everything, and you have to like constantly stop and clean and polish the windows. And they have certain times where they do that, and if you have to do it.
I heard a story that they just do that randomly as well, right?
Yeah.
So they'll just say
housekeeping. That's what we shout. Yeah, they shout housekeeping, and then you have to stop and clean.
Did you find at any points, like, or you were saying it was kind of exhausting, but did you not find experiencing that in such an intense environment sometimes just a bit like, what's the point? Did that ever settle into that? Because I imagine it can do, because that level of detail, like for you now looking back, it must feel like part of your journey and part of your story, and you can respect it. But in that, and adjusting to it as a young person as well, like, was any of it just a bit like, why are we doing this? I don't get it almost.
Yeah, because you're young, like 22, 23.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's, you're in a different part. Like now, while I'm running my own restaurant, I completely get it. But I explain it to my guys. I'm like, guys, I'm only on to you guys like this, and trust me, you might find me annoying, but when you leave, you'll appreciate what you've learned. Trust me, because I explained that I didn't, but like, you know what I mean? Because we have certain things, like every half an hour we have to clean the floors, and certain things that I've put in place there. And sometimes it might get a bit annoyed, but I'm like, this is what we have to do to keep the standards, and it's my job to keep the standards. And when you go and run your own restaurant, I promise you'll look back at it and go, actually,
such a funny thing, isn't it?
I appreciate that. And I think that's also the thing that I didn't get, is a boss that communicates why they're doing that.
Oh, right.
Rather than just, this is what we do and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Which completely understand, like running a restaurant, there's time and all them sort of things.
Yeah.